on the standpoint of, if you're not with us, you against us, right? If you're not with us, you against us. That's what it is. Because this is an army. This is the revolution. This is the standard that we setting. This is the time that we in that we're supposed to be prepared for. Y'all see that world dying now. You see institutions and nations and government are at war with each other, falling on their last leg. And when you see one world going out, you have to look for the world that's being built and help them build it. And if you're not helping us build, what are you doing? You still getting distracted by flyers to the club? Yeah. What? You still getting distracted by the ass and the titties you want to rub? So you trying to spend all of your money on that? You ain't got yourself together? It ain't a trader in your family? Y'all don't have a family crest? Y'all don't have a trust set up? Y'all don't have a LLC? Y'all don't have knowledge of the market? Y'all don't understand put options? So if we do get locked down, damn, which stocks are you gonna put a put option on so that you can have a come up? What are you gonna do? You don't have any masculine development in the household to be able to set your mind right? You so emotionally overwhelmed, you don't know how to deal with society. You crying on your girl's shoulders, forcing her into an emasculated position because now she got to lead you. Your children asking you what to do next, and you waiting for their school to open because you don't have education to open their mind, to give them the skill sets, the creative thinking, right, and the intellectual property to move forward. And damn sure ain't giving them no inheritance. Imagine your children ask you what you was doing during this time. What was you doing when they was offering it at that? What was you doing when they was facilitating all of that? What were you doing? And the excuses are starting to get old. Matter of fact, they become relics. And if I live my life off the amount of excuses that I could make, I would have nothing at all. I wasn't born with an inheritance. I wasn't born with two brains. Nothing makes me different, right? I didn't finish college. I had subpar grades in high school. I thought it was a racket. I just knew that I needed to go ahead and finesse my way through it just enough to where I can get out into what's considered to be the quote unquote real world. I had multiple cases growing up. I grew up in a household of 9 brothers and sisters. There was no additional thing that was given that says that, oh, your life is going to be better than everybody else statistically because you now have this. Besides the fact that my parents gave me knowledge of self when I was younger, told me that I was a god. And through the ups and downs and the strifes and striving, we figured it out. There are those who are on the sidelines, and then there are those who get in the game with us. There are those who say, I love what you all are doing, and then there are those who are doing it with us because they love it. It's a different conversation. Question is, who are you going to be? Are you going to be on the sideline, or are you going to be in the game? Are you still thinking and pondering because you haven't quite got the mindset of the bull that goes after the red flag? Once you see it, I love my mother and my father. I had a very imperfect childhood, right, growing up. But I can still see examples of men and women in them, right? Very, my pop's not a perfect man. He's that militant man, a man's man. You understand me? And I was able to settle on the best parts at all times. That's what I do. Mom's, I always just seen her as the oracle. You understand me? She was my greatest mentor. And the reason why is because she always told me the right things to do. I just didn't listen. Right? But mom's is great. And, I realized that, unfortunately, the education system has broken us down. It's destroyed us. It's taken away our ability to learn properly and to believe in ourselves without the masters. So I know how that goes. We make too many excuses for ourselves, and we're waiting to be graded so that we can have confidence in our abilities. Somewhere out there, there's an F standard. There's an F student, right, who is a millionaire. I want you to think about that. There's an F student somewhere who's a millionaire. So we're not here to argue about, what society has deemed acceptable. We're here to create our own acceptance and be our own saviors. You understand me? And it's about strategy, because strategy is about choices. A great strategist knows how to make choices, right? And those choices are aligned with the agenda, right? And the goals that this strategist wants to make. That's why I chose strategist. Once you become a good strategist, you always have a play in life. You always have something you're doing next. What's your play? So you have to learn, what are my choices? But those choices only become so clear when you know what you want to do. I've decided I'm going to build wealth. I've decided I'm going to speak truth. I've decided that I'm going to lead myself, and through example, inshallah, I can help lead others. I've decided I'm going to strive to get better. I'm going to create family businesses rather. And we're going to move forward from there, you know? And so once we do that, then they say, okay, the strategy is based on the choices that I need to make and creating barriers for my enemy to win. And in order for me to do that, you know, I have to strive for economic excellence. That's what we want, economic excellence. I want you to think about that today. That's the word of the day, or the phrase of the day. Economic excellence. What does that mean to you? What does that mean? And how will you go about getting it? And what are your strategies to go get it? How are you going to build economic excellence? And do you think that your want are as big as your needs? Because a lot of us want things we don't need and need things we don't want. And that's why we can't make room for what we really need to do. But economic excellence should be the go-to, the standard, to be able to maintain high levels of economic excellence, not where, oh, I made a couple of dollars, I'm happy. When this goes down, I'm going to get back ambitious again so I can get back to this point of dollar making. That ain't what we doing. We talking about economic excellence that puts the power right there back into your mind and your family. Can't have economic excellence if your family don't have a trust. Can't have economic excellence if you don't have money that's being automated. Can't have economic excellence if you don't have a strategy to be able to fight in this war. Because the war, economics is warfare. So if you don't have a strategy, you can't be a general. You understand me? And somebody got to lead yourself. And by leading yourself, by creating the greatest leader of self on how you going to manage yourself, right? Once you do that, you have the ability to lead others. But you have to be able to lead yourself first. And how you going to test those metrics? By saying that I want to get to point A to point B. Here are my impediments in front of me. Here's my strategy to get there. These are the choices that I'm going to make very clearly because now I know how to think. I won't let you down because the things that you expect that I'm going to do, they will be done, right? And the way that you get to economic excellence is through operational effectiveness. And that's doing the things that your competitor is doing or better. And your competitor, well, let's look at it. It's called the wealth standard. We talked about the wealth standard last year on every single household and what they're doing better than us. So what you want to do is implement best practices in order to reach the standard. And the implementation of the best practices is this. You study the Asians, study the whites, study the Jews, even study the Caribbeans on how they do susu, right? You study Native Americans. What are their best practices towards building wealth? What are their standards? If you look at every other people, since this is a race, we are all races, right? And we at the back of it, how do we have a competitive advantage? But in order to even get to the competitive advantage, you have to have operational effectiveness, which is doing the things that your competitor is doing, but doing it better and better. So what are we doing better than any other race out there? What are we doing better? I don't care if you're brown, black, orange, red, whatever it is. This is a competition in the world. What are we doing better is the question. So first we get to best practices, looking at what they're doing, happening to handle the standards and doing it better than them. And they know how to create platforms for each other. They know how to automate wealth, how to manage wealth, how to build family blueprints. Oh, you want to start a family, but you don't know how to start a family trust. Oh, you think you're ready? Having sex doesn't make you ready for children. Having a child doesn't make you a good parent. Doesn't make you ready for parenting. It does not. So that means that there is training that you need to go through in order to be ready for economic excellence. The wealth standard exchange is the beginning. So when you see young black men doing things on their own dime, on their own media, through their own platforms that they created, through their own organizations that they've created, there's no grants, no billionaires backing. There's no large media coverage. It's us and it's you.